because they hate my guts that I support Mackenzie Shirilla.
Okay.
Not my house.
Right. I don't know whose house this is.
My daughter was here.
Okay.
She could. They said
She's the
something
one that
happened.
call me.
They called us, so we.
Hey, if you got to go to the hospital, go.
Yeah,
I do.
That's
so
fine.
we ran over. We're down the street.
Oh, you get a number really quick?
Yes.
And you get an idea. He was playing cool downstairs and actually stayed to help. One of the few people. I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure.
21, are you?
Might be.
21.
But
They literally hate my fucking guts for it, but I just know it's morally right in my damn heart.
Gotcha.
But then
Or something, but apparently she was just sitting at the top of the stairs and then just fell.
She fell on her own?
That's what,
That's what we're.
Okay.
My daughter was scared.
I don't give a fuck if that girl spends the rest of her life in jail. It don't matter to me. My two friends are gone. My two friends are dead.
You know, there was a couple parents that came to and called other people's parents because they had a kid over here that wasn't drinking.
And all I know is I've seen a lot of fucking lies up there on that fucking on that court, and I could prove that. So it's like that just comes for when the appeal comes. That's a whole different story. But nah. So when
This is all I use. That's all.
because I just wish there was like one more person on my side that was there at the cemetery, because they're gonna do the exact same shit they did to Mackenzie, and it's just fucked up.
Mackenzie Shirilla wanted to bring in the new 2022 year with a bang, so she threw this New Year's Eve party on December 31st, 2021. She even posted the address of her boyfriend's home, Dominic Russo's home, on Snapchat. I saw it, you know, that overlay you can do. It seems the volatile year of 2021 taught her nothing about being responsible. Now, on November 17th, 2021, her dad Steve texted Mackenzie, "Nice speeding ticket, hot rod." Mackenzie replied, "Did you hear I got searched and there were 5 cop cars?" Now, with 5 police vehicles responding, I had hoped to purchase all those body cam videos from 2021 and show them to you guys like we've been just digging through. Patrolman Davis, he even remembered Mackenzie, and he talked about coming up to the school in 2021, having a talk. Probably he's talking about Strongsville High School in Strongsville, Ohio. It's Strongsville, by the way, not Strongville, I've heard people say. Anyway, alas, police in several jurisdictions up there, Northeast Ohio, I checked a billion of them, they searched hard for this event, but they couldn't find those videos for us, unfortunately. However, they were able to uncover plenty of other incidents involving Mackenzie somehow, whether it's on the periphery or if she's smack dab in the center of the madness where she usually is. And that's what we're going to watch today. They also provided a whopping 307 PDFs from all these incidents, including the Shirillas and the Russos. Authorities told me so many people are requesting Shirilla case evidence, and the wonderful Strongsville PD uploaded all this Shirilla and or Russo call history, because people are just like, wait a minute, what's out there? Give me everything. So they have it in a link outside of the fatal motor vehicle accident, the crash. They've already posted. They loaded that to a specific place, so find a link below to my Patreon explaining all those PDFs and the body cam videos we'll watch today. Well, I don't really explain the PDFs. I mean, it took me forever reading through them the other night. I was like, whoa, that's a whole nother story. I mean, that's craziness. But today, we're going in this video from New Year's Eve 2021 to Mackenzie's sentencing day in August 2023. So we'll traverse all the way from Mackenzie's controversial New Year's Eve party 2021, wherein that year ended with a tragic event before even the crash, including a big lie from Steve, her dad, I caught, as his daughter hid inside and a girl outside the home is fighting to stay alive. And then we'll go to all, of course, the horrible events of 2022, including an eerie Snapchat video that Mackenzie filmed. She took it at the start of the year. It involves a guy who would become a major witness. I was like, oh my goodness, so it's creepy. And then we'll culminate with Mackenzie's sentencing day, August 21st, of course, 2022. 2023. Emotions were so high that day, and there was a scary Instagram post posted by Bubba, you know, like this photo of a weapon and the words he wrote on top of there that resulted in police making a visit to Davian Flanagan's home, Bubba's parents' house, and finally where Bubba was staying in these apartments with Rosie, his girlfriend, who he claimed at that point was getting death threats. So let's dig in. New Year's Eve 2021. It started, you know, I'll start this around 7 p.m. Okay, Mackenzie is swinging around a pole. I'm assuming this pole is in the basement of Dom's house or something. By 9:55 p.m., she's doing what appears to be shots of alcohol with others. You know, we don't know what she's shooting, but usually people shoot alcohol like that. By 10:12 p.m., Dom is making it rain dollar bills, but suddenly by 11:27 p.m., before the pivotal 2022 year of the crash can even rear its ugly head, something serious has happened at Dom's house. Now, the CAD report says a call came in December 31st, 2021, around 11:27 p.m. Okay, the call type is liquor. Underage consumption. A female fell and hit her head. It says is CBA. Does that mean at that point she was conscious and breathing alertly? She's outside. Then it says not really alert. So you know the situation can change, of course. I hope we get to hear this call, Lord willing, and Jesus, I hope I can plop it in this video somewhere if I have it by the time I'm editing this. It says she's not really alert. She's been drinking. Her head is bleeding. Okay, they're asking for fire department, wants the squad. All these people are responding. By 11:48 p.m. that night, of course, paramedics were already there when an officer rolls up. He arrives, his body cam is rolling, and you know who else was there? The distraught and worried father, of course, of this teenage girl who fell and hit her head. Her name is Kendall. Her mom was already in the ambulance with her. They're about to head to Metro, the same place I believe Mackenzie was life-flighted to after the crash. Now, this girl who fell, Kendall, she was only 17 at the time, just like Mackenzie. And in going over this, I had to ask myself, did one aspect of Kendall's condition give Mackenzie a big idea 7 months later after the crash? Let's keep going. Also there to greet authorities were Mackenzie's parents, of course, Steve Shirilla and Natalie Shirilla. Since they are there, did Steve and Natalie tell the cops their daughter, Mackenzie Shirilla? She's the 17-year-old who threw this party. She's currently hiding inside her boyfriend Dominic Russo's house. She's making a Snapchat video at 11:53 p.m. while everyone's trying to figure out what's happening.
Actually stayed to help. One of the few people.
The fudge. I'll say fudge, but you know what Mackenzie always says. And shout out to Ryan's Real Reactions right about now. Happy birthday. That guy cracks me up with the way he analyzes Mackenzie's videos, and oh my goodness, I was laughing in the middle of the night when he's like, the jail calls say, Mackenzie wrote a song, Mom, jail sucks. What the fudge? You know, it's like she's just that ridiculous. But we can tell at this point, Mackenzie is inside Dom's house, freaking out. You can like kind of hear her running around. Kendall is being eventually transported to the hospital. She's going to begin this long fight for her life. And we can hear Mackenzie with her typical WTF, cursing quietly, hiding, lights out. You can see the blue lights of the authorities flashing outside her window in the Snapchat video. That's how you know the police are right outside. She's not in her home. I know Mackenzie lived close to Dominic, but it wasn't like right across the street where the blue cop lights would flash into her home as well. She's in his house. She's not in her home. Mackenzie was always self-snitching via Snapchat. Maybe she thought they would all disappear, but she was always like, let's break into a church, okay? Let me film the evidence for you, officers, and let me hide from the cops New Year's Eve 2021. Okay, the fudge. You know, it's ridiculous. I only laugh at her ridiculousness, not at the seriousness of the situation. Let's watch as this fire chief gives the cop the lowdown after he arrives on scene.
Recording. Dispatch recording. 10-4.
Go ahead. You can send me to the call on 1473. Yep.
Oh, hi again. What's going on?
These guys are leaving. There was probably a crowd of 10 kids. They were all fighting.
Okay.
And there was a whole gang of them, and then literally, like a minute before he got there, they all just dispersed.
Took off? Oh, okay. Kind of non-issue now?
Because this girl, she got her face smacked in. She's unconscious, so I think they were fighting about what happened to her.
Okay.
So,
anybody seen how that happened, or?
No, we don't know.
Okay. Okay.
You might want to talk to the gentleman.
Yes, sir, it's my daughter.
Okay.
I want to go down. My wife is with them right now.
Sure.
I don't know what happened here.
Okay.
This gentleman in the white was here. Apparently brought her out. That's my son that's with him right now.
Okay.
This other parents showed up because they called 911.
How old's your daughter?
She's 17.
Okay.
Okay, if you could hear that, I transcribed it. Been working on this forever. There was probably a crowd of 10 kids, the fire chief says. They were all fighting, a whole gang of them. And literally, like a minute before you got here, they all dispersed. And so, of course, in my head, I hear Kanye's all day. At that moment, I dispersed. I love that song. You already know I'm coming straight from the shy. But, you know, it's like, they dispersed. They're out of there. Cop is like, took off. Okay. Fire captain is like, that girl, she got her face smashed in. She's unconscious. So at that point, I believe he says, you know, she's not conscious. So I think there was fighting about what happened to her. The cop is like, anybody saying how it happened? The fire captain says, no, we don't know. You might want to talk to the gentleman. And he's like looking as the ambulance takes off with Kendall and her mom inside, and her dad remains to speak with police. Like, whoa. Now, Jason is the dad. He's the one who comes up. He's saying, sir, it's my daughter. I want to go down. My wife is with them now. I don't know what happened here. This gentleman in the white was there. So he's pointing, obviously, at Davian. Apparently, Davian brought her out. He doesn't say Davian's name. He doesn't know, I'm sure. That's my son with him now. The other parents showed up because they called 911. The cop is like, how old is your daughter? She's 17. The other parents are, of course, the Shirillas. Now, they did the right thing. At least they called 911. I will give them that. You know, I don't like to go off on people, but I know the Shirillas can be so maddening. They can be pretty maddening, especially when Natalie or even Steve, they give interviews like they did to Chris Cuomo. Oh my goodness. So many things you can refute with the evidence if you've listened to so many calls. I'm still going through nearly 100 of them to publish them all. I mean, praise God. I'm using Gemini yesterday to write a motion to submit to the court to release even more evidence we haven't seen. So stay tuned and pray and agree with me, we'll get that. People are fascinated with this case. People want to know more. They're not done with it. I learned a long time ago that even when just writing, before I really was a YouTuber, writing and looking at my stats, the loudest voices sometimes don't tell you, of course, what they click on. Some people might say, oh, it's enough, you know, about her. Nobody wants to, you know about her. No, people do. Some people are quiet and they don't tell you what they want. They, again, always vote with their views. The views have it. It proves that people want to know about this case.
Okay.
Not my house.
Right. I don't know whose house this is.
My daughter was here.
Okay.
She could. They said
She's the one that called me.
They called us, so we.
Hey, if you got to go to the hospital, go.
Yeah,
I do.
That's
so we ran over. We're down the street.
Oh, you get a number really quick?
Yes.
And you get an idea.
Or something, but apparently she was just sitting at the top of the stairs and then just fell.
She fell on her own.
That's what,
That's what we're.
Okay.
My daughter was scared.
So Steve Shirilla's approaching, hands already in front of him. Not my house. No, I'm not making fun of his stuttering, believe me. I have been there. So it's just, people have kind of noticed a trend with him. His tells, when he says things 3 times, he might be kind of like, of course it's not his house, but he's kind of getting ready to fudge and tell lies by omission. Jason's like, I don't know whose house this is. Now this is a distraught father. He has seen his 17-year-old daughter in the worst way. He doesn't know if she's going to live or die. And notice, the Shirillas don't jump in and say, oh yeah, it's Dominic Russo's house. Our daughter is the one who threw this party tonight and blah, blah, blah. No. But Steve is like, I'm so sorry. My daughter was here.
Okay.
Not my house.
Right. I don't know whose house this is.
My daughter was here.
Okay.
She could. They
She's the one that called me.
They called us, so we.
Hey, if you got to go to the hospital, go.
Yeah,
I do.
So we ran over. We're down the street.
Oh, you get a number really quick?
Yes.
And you get an idea.
She called, that's Steve's first outright lie. At first I thought he had said, my daughter lives here. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's admitting Mackenzie lives there as early as, New Year's Eve 2021. He does not say that. It's that Ohio accent. It kind of reminds me of Chicagoans. It's a certain inflection. But he's like, my daughter was here. Past tense, okay? He's saying, my daughter was here, as if she's gone, as if she was just some random party goer. Oh, I don't know whose house this is. He doesn't say that. Jason says that. Jason is distraught. He's not even in the ambulance with his daughter and wife at this point. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, of course. Even if Steve knew nothing about Mackenzie's plans to have a New Year's Eve party at Dom's house, maybe they didn't know. By the time she ended up calling her mom and dad, or however she got in touch with them, for them to call 911, they definitely knew where their daughter was, hiding inside and not talking to the cops. Did they advise Mackenzie to stay inside? And I don't know. I'm not going to put that blame on them. Again, I hope I'll have these 911 calls to plop right in here at this point. If not, I'll put them in a future video. So Natalie is, of course, giving big ups to her daughter, big props. She's the one that called me. And Steve says, they called us so, and then the cop is telling Jason, if you got to go to the hospital, go. And yeah, he wants to go, of course. So Steve is like, so we ran over, we're down the street, and then at that point, the audio is redacted. The cop is taking Jason's phone number. So Natalie is saying, when the audio picks up again, something, but apparently she was standing at the top of the stairs and then just fell. The fire captain is like, she fell on her own? Steve is like, that's what? Natalie's like, yeah, my daughter was scared. So she's focusing on Mackenzie. My daughter was scared, even though Kendall is the one who's hurt and has horrific injuries. Just wait till you hear them.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
I'm so sorry. I mean, like I said,
we're gonna go.
If I'd have known it was where it was, I would have hit him. I would have screamed on the phone to call 911 right then and there. By the time they hit her out of the house.
To get in the car. You guys live on Stout Street. We were just
down to your house because no one knew where.
Okay. Sorry, just what's your daughter's first name?
Kendall.
Okay, Kendall. Thanks.
Is it okay for me to leave?
I mean, you guys just got here, right? You probably don't know.
We got here right as they were carrying out. Like,
okay.
We're the ones that did call 911.
Yeah, he probably don't know much more than
other than what you probably know.
Okay.
I just told her don't move her. They said she had
my understanding there was some alcohol involved.
Okay.
But I don't know if she had it or not. I
get
They
it.
said she had
I wasn't here.
So I was eyewitness kind of what happened.
Okay.
I was playing pool and right here.
Steve is like, I'm so sorry. If I'd have known it was, pause. If I'd have known it was where it was. So he stops himself from saying, if I'd have known it was Dominic's house, he doesn't say that. If I'd have known it was where it was, I would have screamed on the phone to call 911 right then and there, as opposed to what? I don't know. His words say one thing, I'm so sorry, but his actions, his attitude, his energy gives a whole something else. He's like, they had her out of the house. Natalie is like, we were about to get in the car because we live on, and there's so much crosstalk, it's hard to hear. Let me know what you hear. Steve, right away, let me know. Is it okay if we leave? Steve is like, I gotta get out of here. Now, Steve says, yeah, we got here right as they were carrying her out. We're the ones that did call 911. Give us props for that. So I'm glad they did that. I'm grateful. I don't know how many 911 calls came in. We will see. The cop is like, yeah, you probably don't know much more than... Steve is like, no, other than what you probably know. That's his second lie. This time it's a lie of omission. He didn't tell police immediately. He knows who owns the home, how Dominic lives there, that his daughter Mackenzie is inside. You know, there's so much more background he could give the cops and stop, you know, wasting his time. I know, Steve and Natalie, I get it. They're likely worried about, okay, their daughter getting in trouble for underage drinking. What was her role, you know, in this party? Were there no adults present? What was going on? They're trying to protect her, but they're doing it by lying. And a girl their same daughter's age is seriously injured at this point. You know, it's sad to me. You start to see a pattern. You see their MO, how they handle tragedy. Natalie quickly changes the subject, but she confesses to what Kendall may have had. She said, I just told them don't move her. They said she had like a White Claw. Steve, he's dropping his keys or something. He's like, it's my understanding there's some alcohol involved, but I don't know if she had it or not. I wasn't here, so up walks Davian. He's great. He stayed. Seemingly the only other teenager who cared enough to stay on the scene, along with, of course, I guess Kendall's brother. Davian is like, look, I was an eyewitness kind of what happened. I was playing pool and for some reason that part is redacted. I don't know if that's due to something heard over the dispatch radio at that point, but pay attention to this dispatcher's voice because I have a question for you. It will become important soon.
Okay. Up for falling down the steps. It's a really slick, rocky wood.
Okay.
No carpet over the steps.
Do you live here?
No.
Who lives here?
Don.
Where is that person?
I do not know. I think she's sleeping.
How old is that person?
23.
Okay.
Anyway, we just said don't move her. Don't move her
Good
head.
idea.
Don't move her head. So keep her still.
Okay, yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys call, but you don't really know more than I do at this point.
I didn't want to leave it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's, we're okay. Thanks, though.
Child failure to appear for that.
Yeah.
Columbiana County.
In case anybody asks, go down to Metro.
Metro. Okay, thanks, Captain.
There's no extradition. Radio.
Is your digital copy okay?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can get the information.
I have this mail, so.
I've been in school with Kendall for a while. I'm not necessarily sure what happened tonight. I was just playing pool, and then a lot of blood happened.
Okay. You just heard a thump. Did anyone actually see what happened? You know?
I've heard from one. There's one witness. I've heard.
Who was that? Do you know?
She passed out. I'm not sure. I saw a lot of faces tonight.
Okay.
Because a lot of people running around crying.
Brian is
do know it was
suspended in WW out of Parma Heights.
She said that she passed out.
Okay.
All the way down the steps.
Did all those people leave as soon as she got hurt?
Yeah, I was like one of the very few people that
Okay.
Can you repeat, please?
I got it.
Suspended NIF WW out of Parma Heights.
But you know the person who lives here, correct?
Yeah. Okay. I don't really know last name. 1 second.
19 radio.
19.
I'm up.
10.
Okay, let's see here. What's a good phone number for you, please? Playing pool, you're at the dump, and then you came upstairs and you found her, basically?
She was already on the floor downstairs. She fell all the way down. And
So
she was bleeding out of her nose.
Okay.
Her eye was swollen closed. Her mouth, I'm not sure if it was blood that went into her mouth. And she also didn't respond within a minute because that's what it said when I looked it up. Respond in the call. So that's why I did it right away.
Okay. Is anybody else trying to help her?
She was gurgling, yeah.
Okay.
She was gurgling, so I opened her mouth for her.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back with you. All right, so they already took the 17-year-old female. She allegedly, this guy was one of the few that stayed. Everybody else split because lots of them were probably underage.
Yeah.
She was 17. Sounds like she's pretty significantly injured. She like fell. She said I think she had like blood coming out of her ears. Her eyes was swollen. She was gurgling. She like, according to one of the witnesses who isn't here,
Davian is like, is kind of a witness of her falling down the steps. Steve starts touching his heart in a way, and you hear Natalie saying, "Oh, poor honey." And Davian is describing it's a really slick, blotchy wood, no carpet over the steps, and I might be able to find photos, maybe not. Now, one of these PDFs from those 300 and something I just got the other day, it contains so many photos from this investigation. I didn't even know it had happened, but I'm not sure which Russo home it's in. You know how Dom lived in one and his mom lived in the one next door? And so I'm not quite sure if it has basement photos of these stairs. If so, I'll put them here. The cop is like asking Davian, "Do you live here?" Davian's like, "No." And he's like, "Who lives here?" Davian says, Dominic. Davian's already given police more information that Steve and Natalie, as adults, could have given the cop as soon as he got there, Cop is like, "Where's that person?" Davian's like, "I do not know. I think he's sleeping, maybe." The cop is like, "How old is that person?" Now we hear a woman's voice. It's either Natalie or most likely the dispatcher's voice. When the cop says, "How old is that person?" you hear 23. I'm not sure if Natalie had chimed in. Probably not. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And it might have been the dispatcher calling out an officer's number or code or something else. Nothing to do with the officer asking, "How old is Dominic?" Maybe Davian answered, but you know how cops have their radios on and it's like stepping over what's going on in real life here in front of them. But it's not like Steve and Natalie were offering much info about the home occupants to police anyway. On the small chance it was Natalie who claimed Dom was 23, she knew he was only 20 at that point.
My understanding there was some alcohol involved.
Okay.
But I don't know if she had it or not. I
They said she had
I wasn't here.
So I was eyewitness kind of what happened.
Okay.
I was playing pool. And it's right here.
Okay.
Up for falling down the steps. It's a really slick, blotchy wood.
Okay.
No carpet over the steps.
Do you live here?
No.
Who lives here?
Dom.
Where is that person?
I do not know. I think she's sleeping.
How old is that person?
23.
Okay.
Anyway, we just said don't move her. Don't move her
Good
head.
idea.
Don't move her head. So
keep
her still.
Okay, yeah,
Lanham.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, you guys call, but you don't really know more than I do at this point.
I didn't want to leave it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's, we're okay. Thanks.
Child, failure to appear for that.
Yeah.
Columbiana.
Yeah, he was born 2001. Wow. Oh my goodness. Same year as my son. That's, ugh. Ooh. Anyway, September 24th, on this night he was 20, and it's like, oh my goodness, I think he never even got the chance to turn 21. Now in Strongsville, the legal drinking age back on New Year's Eve 2021 was 21 years old, of course, and they strongly adhere to the statewide laws in the Ohio Revised Code. However, ironically, there are exceptions to the rule, including under specific circumstances, underage individuals under 21 were allowed to consume alcohol legally, provided the alcohol was given to them by and consumed in the presence of their parent or legal guardian or a spouse who was 21 or older. I didn't even know that. It helps to know the law. I don't know if that's still the law in 2026, but there was a way that a New Year's Eve party could have happened legally. Let's say if it were over at the Shirilla's home, and if Mackenzie said, "I want to have a few friends over, girlfriends and a few guys or whatever. You guys are adults, you're on scene." I'm assuming this means, technically maybe it means only if it's their parent or legal guardian or spouse. So it's not like the Shirillas would be able to dole out alcohol to everyone. I believe they'd be able to, the way I'm interpreting this code, give it to their daughter. Either way, it didn't happen that way. And there was other stuff, most likely at this party too. But the cop is asking Davian, does he have an ID? Davian's like, yeah, do I have an ID? Yeah, he's helpful. Natalie is nervously talking over them. Steve's ready to go. You know, Natalie's like, by the way, we just said don't move her head, just keep her still. Steve is, again, is it okay? Like, we got to get out of here. Like, you know, I don't want to stick around and you figure out, start asking me more questions. The cop, again, gives them an opportunity to kind of speak out. They're acting like, oh, you know, my daughter was just at this party and she was a good Samaritan and she called and she don't know nothing about nothing. That's, you know, how it's playing out, the vibe. The cop is saying, yeah, I mean, you know, you guys called, but you don't really know more than I do at this point. And Steve says something like, I just didn't want to leave if something. The cop says, we're okay. And granted, I'm sure Natalie already gave them pertinent information when she was likely the one who called 911. Again, we'll verify that when I get the audio. But it's not like the Shirillas are kind of sticking around to tell the police more info. But Davian is. I mean, I give him props. He's asking the cop, is a digital copy of my driver's license okay? And the cop's like, yeah, as long as I can get the info. So right about at this point where Davian is being a stand-up guy, he stayed there, he's giving his cop the actual ID, his ID. Mackenzie at this point is inside in the dark, Snapchatting and saying, what the fudge? You know, she's so, like, it's just the dichotomy of the situation. It's hard. She's hiding again. Her parents are kind of out there for her, the face of Mackenzie, but not completely telling the truth. Davian is talking. He's saying, I've been to school with Kendall for a while. I'm not necessarily sure what happened tonight. I was just playing pool and then a lot of blood happened. And the cop is like, you just heard a thump? Did anyone actually see what happened? Do you know? Do you know? And Davian's like, I've heard from one witness. There's one witness. She passed out. And the cop is like, who is that? Davian's like, I'm not sure. I saw a lot of faces tonight because a lot of people were running around crying. I do know it was something, he says, I can't understand. She said that she passed out and fell all the way down the steps. And the cop is like, did all those people leave as soon as she got hurt? And Davian says, yeah, I was one of the very few basically to stay. The cop says, but you know that person that lives here, correct? And Davian's like, yes, but I don't really know his last name. Now we know he's kind of faking here to protect Dom. I know how it is. At least Davian stayed, gave his info. He's outside. He's not hiding. You know, the cop's going to say he's sober, doesn't smell like alcohol. You know, he's being a stand-up guy, but he doesn't want to get his friends in trouble. The cop said, playing pool, you heard a thump. You came upstairs and you found her, basically. Davian said, yeah, she was already on the floor downstairs. She fell all the way down. She was bleeding out of her nose. Her eye was swollen closed. Her mouth, he says something, I'm not sure if it was bloody because I can't hear. And she also didn't respond within a minute because that is what it said when I looked it up. So he was like looking up how to, you know, treat this or what to do. You know, you're supposed to respond with your name called. He's like, that's what I did right away. She wasn't responding, I guess. She was gurgling. And cop says, was anyone else trying to help her? And Davian says, yeah, she was gurgling, so I opened her mouth for her. Oh, sounds horrific. The second cop rolls up. First cop approaches second cop. The second cop, after a while, is like, is this the Russo's home?
Allegedly, this guy was one of the few that stayed. Everybody else split because lots of them were probably underage.
Yeah.
She was 17. Sounds like she's pretty significantly injured. She like fell. She said I think she had like blood coming out of her ears. Her eye was swollen. She was gurgling. She like, according to one of the witnesses who isn't here, he was playing pool downstairs and actually stayed to help. One of the few people. I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure.
21, are you?
I think it is.
Might be.
21.
But yeah. Can't get in there, unfortunately. But everybody that's a witness is already gone, or would have been a witness.
Yeah.
This guy kind of helped after the fact, but
They're just having
I'm not sure what more we can do. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, she was
at the hospital. It's medical.
Yeah, she was probably intox.
There's nothing really you can do, honestly.
Yeah, unless you know.
If somebody pushed her or something. That's
it's hard to say. You know, she wakes up or she's not going to remember. But if it's a really serious injury, then we're going to have to look into supplying. You know, who supplied what to who.
Right, just be a cat sheet for now, I would say.
Yeah, I guess so. So I got everybody's information, but
okay,
cool, dude. Thanks for stopping. Yeah. All right, man. If we need anything else, we'll give you a call. You know, hopefully she's okay. And yeah, thanks for helping her out. Obviously, I mean,
is that that's obviously not common, but
what's that?
Passing out and From what I've heard, she only had minimal alcohol. Like she's not a drinker.
But yeah, I mean,
not really.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't drink a lot, and they have.
There could have been something else.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been. Who knows? If she takes prescription medication, that could affect it. There's a lot of things. If you don't have a lot of sleep the night before, if she didn't really eat much today, there's a lot of things that could affect. Just a little bit of alcohol. So, we'll see how she turns out at Metro. I know her family's going up there right now, so at least you stayed and helped out. Appreciate that.
To leave in this situation is.
Oh yeah, some people just think about themselves, like lots of people here did tonight. So can't fault you for trying to do the right thing, So, and you said there was some girl in a red dress. You don't know the name though. Was the one that saw her allegedly? Okay, but you didn't recognize her? Okay, thanks. Hey, take care.
The cop is like, oh, I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure. The second cop whispers, I think it is. So reading through those 307 PDFs, and I didn't do it in depth, I was mainly looking for Mackenzie's stuff and, trying to understand the victimology of the things Dominic has been through. I now understand why that cop would ask who owned the house, why they were familiar with the homes, why he whispered. I understand more of Dom's reaction this night when you read through all the things he's been through in his life, and I learned about more of his traumatic background. So I see more why he would have a trauma bond with Mackenzie. I know so much more about his victimology. It might not be appropriate to get into it here, and I don't want this to be a 5-hour video. It'll probably already be close to 2 hours. So the cop is like, might be, but we can't get in there, unfortunately. But everybody that's a witness is already gone, or would have been a witness. The cop gives Davian, kudos, his props. He's like, this guy kind of helped after the fact. I'm not sure what more we can do. And they're like, yeah, she's down at the hospital. That's medical. The cop says she was probably intox. The second cop, there's nothing more you can do, honestly. And he goes, well, unless kind of like if someone pushed her. The cop says it's hard to say. She wakes up, she's not going to remember these comments. And they're like, well, if it's really a serious injury, we're going to have to look into supply, who supplied what to who. So that got a little dicey there. Davian, he goes back and he's talking to the cop and he's like, that's obviously not common, right? Passing out. From what I've heard, she only had minimal alcohol. She's not a drinker. And the cop is like, well, it could be, you don't know if she takes any medication, if she didn't get much sleep, if she didn't eat much. And he's like, some girl in a red dress saw her. And he's like, yeah, so thanks, take care. Okay, now let's move into 2022 and the new 2022 year's fallout. Mackenzie's cold-hearted reaction video. Obviously, the crash happens that year and so much more. If we start out January 1st, okay, 2022, 12:26 a.m. I was obsessed with this, ridiculously obsessed, like translating all these UTC time codes from all her Snap messages and all these videos and photos to, create a timeline to see how the story unfolded. 12:26 a.m., Happy New Year, and now 12:26, she's saving the Snapchat voice message. Now the cop is still on the scene. Kids from the party are talking about everything over Snap. They've dispersed. Some girl is telling Mackenzie, I didn't say you locked me out of the house.
I didn't say you locked me in the house. I said because Natalie tried coming at me saying, why weren't you there for your best friend? Why weren't you there for your best friend? Trying to get all into my face. I was like, I was literally there seeing her fucking bleed. And people were telling me I had to stay in the house because I was too hysterical. She's like, who was it? Who was it? I was like, Kenzie literally told me I needed to stay in the house because I was too hysterical. And they were going to think I was drunk if I went out there to go talk to you. That's all I said. I promise. I did not say I locked you and you locked me in your house. One. Did I say that? Mm-hmm. I was literally just telling fucking Natalie that I was too hysterical to go help my friend because she was coming at me being like, Karina's such a fucking bitch. I fucking hate her. And I listened to her saying that. I was like, what were you saying, Natalie? While she was walking out of the fucking to her car, and she was like, "You're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking bitch. Why weren't you there for your best friend?" Like, I was holding her up. I'm like, because no one was letting me out. Like, no one was like letting me to go to my friend because I was hysterical. I couldn't fucking like see her like that because I had already seen her everything like that. Like, I couldn't handle it. Like, no one was letting me out. I needed to calm down before the EMT people were gonna see me.
Somewhere in here we hear a cop make a call, I believe maybe to his captain or someone, to give him the lowdown. I tried to boost the audio as much as possible, but the cop is like explaining it's like an all underage drinking party, it sounds like, can't really get into the house. There's a couple of parents that came to and called other people or parents here because they had a kid over here that wasn't drinking. I was like, what? I gotta hear this 911 audio. I'm assuming he's talking about the Shirillas. So they called other people, other parents over there. If he's talking about the Shirillas, I find that interesting. They had a kid over here who wasn't drinking. So all kind of things are wrong with that. Whatever they made the cop believe that, first of all, their kid wasn't there anymore when she was really inside hiding.
You know, there was a couple parents that came to and called other people's parents because they had a kid over here that wasn't drinking.
And then that she wasn't drinking when you can clearly see, you know, her allegedly getting ready for the party. And I've kind of just zoomed in on Mackenzie so as not to include other, you know, faces and stuff in her videos. But I'm like, did her parents tell the cops she had nothing to drink?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I want to run this by you really quick just before I leave. When I got here, they're pulling away with the 17-year-old female who sounds like she fell down a bunch of stairs, like passed out, and suffered probably pretty significant head injury. One of the people that found her after the fact said she was like bleeding from the ears, her eye was swollen, she was like gurgling blood. I'm taking her to Metro. The problem I got is pretty much everybody was here, with the exception of like one good guy that kind of like helped make sure she was okay. Split because it's like an all underage drinking party, it sounds like. Can't really get into the house, unfortunately. I got the victim's dad information, then he said he had to go to Metro. I got one of the guys, but he didn't directly witness what happened, so I can't say for certain, you know, she wasn't pushed. I mean, it sounds, he said he got a second-hand account that there was some girl that he's never seen that said she just passed out and fell down the whole flight of stairs. So, I guess I'll just...
So you knocked on the door?
Yeah, it's not making any contact. I think the guy who said he's was visiting over here said he thinks the guy passed out inside the homeowner or whoever lives here. I'll try one more time, but, you know...
Well,
I'm not sure.
ID whoever you can out there. If you're able to, does it look like anybody killed them?
No, it looks pretty dead. Like the guy said, and the fire captain said before I even got here, like a few minutes, there's people like getting into a fight about what happened with the girl, and he said they all split like just a minute or two before we got here. Presumably some of those people were, or many of them were underage, I'm guessing. So
So was she outside when you got there, or was she already in the squad?
She's already in the squad. They had to take her because it sounds like she was pretty injured.
Right. Were the medics inside, or did they scoop her up outside?
Yeah, like I don't know. I didn't even talk to him. The fire captain was here. He kind of briefly about what happened. But they had already, got her and were going at that point in time. They were already like literally pulling out as soon as I was pulling out.
So. Right. Well, we'll do a report, and then if there's any plates in the ground, every single plate you see, call in.
Okay.
If there are any, and then if anyone's out there, ID everyone you can. I'm sure it's probably all cleared out by now, but
yeah, I got the one guy that stayed in health, but that's about it. So.
Is he? You said he's a juvenile too?
I didn't even run him yet, to be honest. Cause I got a lot of information as soon as I got here, but then everybody, there was a couple parents that came to and called other people's parents because they had a a kid over here that wasn't drinking, but they said, hey, this kid got injured, so, like, what should we do? And then that's when Mom and Dad showed up and, basically called for the ambulance once they got here. And notified.
So her mom and dad called the ambulance?
No, some other people's mom. I got their information, too.
Okay.
But,
did the guy say, do we know the homeowner's name?
This kid was saying John or something like that. But
yeah, I guess just hit him up for as much info as you get. I could stop down. I just walked out of the jail. I had to check that.
It sounds a little wonky because it was a minor injury, but she was totally unresponsive, unconscious. So it's pretty serious. Obviously, it's pretty serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just pump them for as much information. If they'll tell you who's there, who the homeowner's name is, and we can get it from place. And we can look up the address too, but we definitely should do a report for this one and get as much info as we can from there. So, did he actually see the accident or the incident happen?
No, he said he was downstairs playing pool and he heard like a loud, thump, and he went upstairs and he said, he saw Kendall. He said he knew her from going to high school with her. He didn't smell like alcohol. Obviously, he hadn't been drinking or anything like that.
Right.
But he's around to make sure she was helped out.
Yeah.
I knew her.
That's not what's her face's house. It's one of the writers, right?
Yeah, that's why I was just because Jake came up and was like, isn't this Russo's house? I'm like,
yeah. Well, I think she owns. I think she's
true crime.
Where she actually lives. I think she owns that house to rent it, maybe. But I'm not sure if I'm messing up my numbers or not. But I think I know she owns two houses right next to each other. But she did. Yeah, I mean, see what information ID him. See if he'll get any names, people there, the homeowner, run any plates you can, and we'll just do a report. And might try to follow up if we can. If that captain was inside, we can at least maybe get some more info from him.
I don't even know. He showed up kind of after the fact, or he was.
Yeah. Well, we can always get the dispatch will know what squad was there, so we can ask those guys later. Detective Bureau can, whatever, if we need to.
Let me try to knock one more time here and see if we can get a hold of anybody.
Yeah, you can also see if dispatch can find a number for the homeowner, or if somebody lives there and calls. That way, it looks like we did our due diligence, even though they probably wouldn't answer. So I'll do some research out. I just went back to my desk now when you called someone up there, look at that address, see if I can find any names associated with it.
I got Dan's info briefly, but he's like, can I go to Metro? I'm like, yeah, it's that serious, probably go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, I'll be here looking the stuff up. Let me know if you want me to come down or anything. So I'll see what I can find. Okay. All right. Bye.
.48 radio.
48.
Okay. I'm going to have a lot of information to give you in the next few minutes. Victim's father.
But they speak of Davian being the helpful one, not smelling like alcohol, finding out more info. The cop plans to knock on the door one more time. So by 1:10 a.m. he does walk to the house again to knock. But first he pauses at Mackenzie's famous black Toyota Camry and runs the plate. Every time you see that black car, it's like so ominous when you know what's about to happen. Every single time. I mean, even when Dominic and Davian were stopped 9 days before the crash, we just looked at those body cam videos. Oh my goodness. It's like you watch videos, you want to reach through the screen and say, please, in 9 days, do not get in that car with Mackenzie.
1985.
Take your phone, don't worry about it.
Audio ready.
Go ahead, 48.
Okay, just 2 plates now. I'll about 3 later. John, Ida Barney, 3692. Just put that one in. And also, Henry Mike 8692.
Go ahead.
I'm reading that. Disregard.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can read it.
Go ahead.
Owner, white male. The badge for me.
One more for the time being. John, or yesterday, 9550. And make this report a file. I'll be here for the time being.
10-4. Any idea what kind of report? Because I just have it in the list.
I'll give you a call.
Okay, so the report says the house in which the party had occurred was completely shut and the screen door was locked when I was attempting to open it to knock on the inner door. So I didn't really kind of notice that, but he was trying to like at least let me try and get in there. All of the lights, another Kanye song, it reminds me of Kanye and Rihanna. All of the lights on the house were out and no one responded to me knocking. So as the cop pulls off and others continue to hide, the dad was updating authorities on his daughter's condition. So Jason said his daughter Kendall was going in for surgery. I'm not sure if she went in, what would that be, that Sunday, the first day of the year? Oh, God bless doctors and nurses and EMTs and everyone. Don't get holidays, they just work. The doctor said she had a skull fracture, brain bleeding beyond her other external injuries. This was serious. Jason said doctors couldn't discern whether the injuries occurred from a fall or from an assault. However, they're saying both were equally possible. So at that point, it's like she could have fallen, someone could have assaulted her. If they see all these traumatic injuries. January 2nd, so we're moving on to the next day. So January 2nd must have been a Sunday. Just after noon, Mackenzie, of course, is Snapchatting as usual, showing off her sparkly face mask. I don't know if all this is just a cover for her, literally, to be like, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine. A girl might have nearly died at the party I threw, but, I'm not going to show any remorse because that would equal guilt and nothing's my fault. That's her attitude, I feel. She exudes. So by 4:20 that day, Mackenzie is busy blaming another girl for not trying to catch Kendall. Not giving me a break.
Tell me why I just got off the phone with fucking Sammy. And supposedly Emily did not even try to fucking catch her.
Emily ran away and threw up. That's what Sammy is saying. And Sammy was the one down there. So Emily is like a major fucking problem, like right now.
If anyone knows, however, those stairs looked, even if we don't at this point, Mackenzie knows how steep the stairs were. And she's sitting up here blaming someone for not catching a falling person. Like, who would have that reaction time, and you could harm yourself trying to, like, what, pull her back, or yeah, who knows. Anyway, Mackenzie calls the girl a major effing problem right now, but not herself. You know, Mackenzie doesn't say, oh, I should have never thrown that party. I should have never hid from the cops. No, Mackenzie's MO is to redirect, blame, curse, and call names. Never take accountability, except when she will confess eventually the party was hers. I was surprised she even confessed that much. But just 2 minutes later, we're still January 2nd, Mackenzie gets a voice reply message speaking about our friend that's in a fatal accident. Perhaps whoever the girl is speaking didn't know the meaning of the word fatal. Or perhaps the girl knew things looked really serious for Kendall. People were afraid. She's like, STFU about someone spreading word about the party injury. How could they think this would stay under wraps? But Mackenzie's gonna try.
I can hear. That honestly makes me really mad because right away Emily texted me and she was like, I tried catching her, like I tried everything I could, like I was the one on the bottom of the stairs, and like even me and you were taking her word for it, and we're like, yeah, like she was on the bottom of the stairs, like blah blah blah. So it honestly pisses me off to the fact that she ran away after it happened, and now she's the one who's like saying all this stuff and like legit spreading it around. Because you weren't the only one that texted me. I woke up to like 2 or 3 other people saying that fucking they're hearing so much shit from Emily and like what happened, blah blah blah. And like everyone like already knows you're just making it bigger than it really has to be. Like she's getting so defensive, and I text her. I'm like, dude, for real, the fact that you're getting so defensive and so bitchy so quickly with me and Kenzie just when we're trying to ask you a question over our friend that's in a fatal accident. And you throw your best friend under the bus that even gets you into these parties. If Sammy wasn't even your friend, you wouldn't even have been there. And you throw Sammy under the bus. I was like, all of this makes it so obvious that you're spreading this stuff because you're just getting so defensive. I was like, you just need to chill, and you just need to like shut up. Like for real, just shut the fuck up. Like that's what I said. I'm so pissed at her. Like honestly.
Maybe that audio got around because only like a minute or so later, a girl posts, I'm so confused. Did she die or not? I wonder if that girl heard the other girl say fatal and she knew that fatal meant deadly. Well, Mackenzie would become so enraged, of course, by this girl asking, I'm confused, did she die or not? She would save that Snapchat, photo. She would remember it years later. She'll talk about it a year later on a jail phone call with her mom. The hubris of Natalie and Mackenzie to talk about this, but they'll talk about this girl's hubris. How dare the girl write that? And they'll twist her words to claim the girl posted that Kendall died. I knew they were talking about something and they're like, how could she post that Kendall died? Well, she didn't. She asked a question. Her exact words were, I'm so confused. Did she die or not? But by the time Mackenzie and her mom get a hold of it, they're going off about the girl for saying, oh, did she die? Or she died. They're trying to make it sound like this girl posted on Snap, oh, Kendall died, which she did not. She asked a question. Darvo, that's their play. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Who's the victim here? Kendall is. I'm not saying she was pushed, believe me. I don't think she was by the time the end of this, spoiler alert, investigation happens. But of course he had to do his due diligence. But she's the victim. But all of a sudden, Mackenzie's going off about who's saying what and who didn't catch her. Not who threw the party. All right, 8:39 that night. We're still on January 2nd. It's a few hours later. Mackenzie tries to get the girl to delete her question, saying it wasn't cool. It was disrespectful. Oh, that's what was disrespectful? The girl said it was just a question. She said something else the girl posted. I was like, I give her props for clapping back at Mackenzie. Mackenzie tells the girl, look, you weren't even there. It's none of your business. The girl is saying, look, Kendall's best friend didn't even trip out as much as Mackenzie did over my question. But Mackenzie is trying to manipulate this girl into being quiet. Mackenzie asked another girl, can you not tell everyone what happened, please? Now, I think this is the other girl who's going to end up eventually, of course, speaking to the police, rightly so. So again, she's trying to control the narrative. She's trying to silence everyone. Remember in the case, some people claim they were told, was it Bubba? We're going to look at Bubba's part at the end. Whew, that's a trip. Confusing. He was told, someone was told, allegedly, Natalie Shirilla told me not to talk to the police. Now, I get it in true crime. I know there are times when your criminal defense attorney will tell you don't talk to the police. I get it. In this situation, okay, Mackenzie's trying to control the narrative. She's trying to silence everyone. She's seemingly more worried about her own plight instead of the girl fighting for her life in the hospital. Why not throw up prayers for Kendall? You know what I mean? Like, pray she gets better. But no, 10 minutes later, that same night, January 2nd, okay, Mackenzie's screenshotting text from someone's dad explaining that Kendall would be placed in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks to allow her body to heal. Mackenzie also screenshots a chat. It says, last I heard she's still in critical condition but stable and no new changes since yesterday. Okay, now Detective Andrew Bartlett is on the case. He investigates, but Mackenzie continues to post her fashions. What else do you do? Winter break is over. Boy, it ended not with a bang, but with a horrible accident, a horrible event. Students began their second semester on that Monday, January 3rd, 2022. So, of course, Mackenzie's posted up at a gas station. She posted these photos, even though it looks like nighttime. Well, I guess it is January, pretty early, so it could be, you know, when she took them. Fashion show in the gas station, you know, posting that morning, 8:26 a.m., 7:23 a.m. Then, this video, I've seen it before. This
is all I use. That's all.
But it's the eerie last stop house guy interaction. If you know the case, you know the house, the last stop they made where they hung out, they had their sleepover, they left it, and then they got into the crash. That guy, okay, the guy who was kind of dodgy in a way with police, he was the first one to go in there. Allegedly, when he came out, he told Rosie and Bubba, oh, they asked me all these drug questions and all this stuff, and that's what kind of scared Rosie and Bubba away from talking to police, allegedly. But this morning, it's him and Kenzie. They won like homecoming together or something. It's a really cute picture. Supposedly Mackenzie helped him with his self-confidence, so she says. That morning, 9 a.m., Monday, January 3rd, Mackenzie takes a video of him saying, that's all I use. This is the guy whose house was the last stop for Mackenzie, Dom, and Davian before the fatal crash 7 months later. But Mackenzie posts on that video, I love, this motherfucker.
This is all I use. That's all.
She's not saying she loves this guy necessarily. She's saying she loves what she pans down to. Mackenzie is writing about the book on his desk, and she pans down to reveal a book of spells and rituals. I was like, oh my, that was the same guy? And this happened right after Kendall's accident and 7 months before the crash? Okay, insert here, I don't play with demons gif right about now, and I have to insert Philippians 2:10 through 11, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, of those in heaven and of those on earth and of those under the earth, that every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. No wonder people said Mackenzie used witchcraft on Dom. They saw these Snapchats. They weren't making things up out of thin air. You know, some people are like, oh, I don't know where that came from. That's where it came from. Again, she self-snitched. I'm not showing the name of that spells book. I don't want people looking it up and get, ugh. I couldn't find it on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's self-published or what, but since Mackenzie said she loved it, did she begin using it like to try and keep Dom? Perhaps. I don't know. Here she is a bit more than 24 hours after Kendall was seriously harmed. It sounded awful, that injury. And she's posting, you know, a billion photos of herself, writing that she loves this book of spells on the desk of the guy whose house will show up, him as a person will show up prominently as a witness in the case as their last stop. I mean, the truth is really stranger than fiction. Now, understand me, I'm not saying that Mackenzie had any direct interaction with Kendall at all. I don't even know who invited her or whatever. We'll get more into that. I'm not saying Mackenzie caused her to fall. I'm not saying she pushed her or anything. I know that lore goes around. People find a person guilty of one crime and then they want to ascribe everything to them, and I'm not that type of person. I am saying there was an obvious atmosphere of evil that followed Mackenzie around like the cloud around Pigpen, for all my Charles Schultz fans out there. As Mackenzie continued to post photos, January 3rd, 9 a.m., and photos at the gas station, 10:45 a.m. and beyond. I'll let a lot of them just play what Mackenzie was doing, while Kendall will see what her and her family were going through. Detective Andrew Bartlett again on the case. That Monday, he was assigned the case mid-shift. It says, although reported as an accidental fall, there are some factors that has the family concerned it could be something else. That same day, Kendall's father, Jason, he was in the hospital at his daughter's bedside, I'm sure. She had never regained consciousness and had surgery to relieve pressure from several brain bleeds, it says. More than one. She suffered multiple facial fractures in addition to the severe skull injury. The detective writes, Jason was clearly tired and depressed. I'm sure. He was concerned as to whether his daughter actually fell. He said his daughter's toxicology screening was clean. I didn't know they could do it that quickly, so I guess they did. It says, despite teenagers on the scene saying Kendall was consuming alcohol and fell, her tox screen was clean. The detective would be looking into the matter in an attempt to confirm whether it was accidental or not. Indeed, this wasn't just like some little slip on the sidewalk. So the same day, the medics who were on the scene told the detective when they arrived, Kendall was laying face upward with her head in the arms of another girl. Apparently at one point, I guess Davian had held her too, maybe because they're saying he had blood on his white shirt, but it was hard to see that in this dark body cam video. There were approximately 9 teenagers on scene, 8 white females and 1 black male. Also present were a white couple in their mid-50s, assuming that's the Shirillas, of course. The medics stated everyone was quiet on scene, and it was difficult to get information on what happened. So imagine that. Kendall's like, oh, heaven forbid, she could have been bleeding out, and everybody's like, what? Snitches get stitches. I mean, come on, the girl's in a bad way. Eventually, one of the females present stated that Kendall fell down a flight of wooden steps. Then they called 911 and brought her outside. So I don't know if we'll end up hearing multiple 911 calls. Another female on scene said Kendall consumed 1 White Claw alcoholic beverage prior to falling. The medics asked if anyone on scene could contact Kendall's parents to advise them of what had happened. The unidentified 50-ish-year-old white female, I'm sure that's Natalie, stated she could Facebook Messenger Kendall's mom. Kendall's parents then arrived on scene. How horrible. Her mother rode with her daughter to the hospital. Her father remained on scene, spoke with SPD briefly before responding to the hospital. So, after this detective left talking with the medics, he went to the Lund Road house to speak with the homeowners. Nobody was home. He didn't leave a business card. He's saying, I wanted to retain the element of surprise for later. He performed a record search of that address to ascertain who lives there. He's like 35 results were found, which indicate it most likely is a rental property, unsure of who the current residents are. When I read through all those PDFs, I was like, whoa, yeah, this is a big family. They've had a lot of happenings. The next day, January 4th, it's 7 a.m., Mackenzie's awake, and the detective is detecting. At some point this day, he drives past the Lund Road house, no cars are present. He's like, at this point, I'll have to wait to make contact after I've identified, located, spoken to witnesses who were present that night. He's not clear yet on who lived there. January 5th, 10:30, he's saying he called Davion, he called Natalie, he left voicemail messages, call me back. January 6th, Mackenzie admits it was her party, but she's posting, I'm still that biatch. I'm like, oh my goodness. She's hiding in the school bathroom a lot. When I started changing these times from UTC to ET, I was like, wow, she's still in the bathroom 20 minutes later. I mean, I know she, didn't like school, had a lot of problems, didn't want to go to school a lot, wanted to always hang out with Dominic. She wanted to possess him, literally. That's how I feel. Like, she never wanted to break up with him. She texted him a crazy amount of times. And then after he died, after he was killed, those photos of her, wearing his shirt and smelling his shirt, I know that's part of the grieving process, but in this case, to me, it's almost like she's wearing his skin. you're never going to break up with me. You're never going to leave me. And it's kind of like, okay, you know, I killed you and now I can still smell you. It's not a sweet, like, kind tribute. It creeped me out. So that same day, we're on January 6th, a student gave the detective a list of the people who were at the party the night Kendall was injured. So he took the list to Strongsville High School. He spoke with Mackenzie Shirilla. She verified, yep, this list is accurate. She said she was the one who decided to throw the party. I was surprised she admitted that. She said, yeah, it took place at her boyfriend Dominic Russo's home. Okay, Natalie was on the phone speaker the entire time the detective spoke with Mackenzie. So that's their MO. We know they do that. Mackenzie said she didn't see Kendall fall. She only witnessed the aftermath, which really could be the truth. She advised that this other girl, like these three other girls, I won't say all their names, witnessed the fall. And then he asked Mackenzie, okay, what's your boyfriend Dominic's phone number so I can contact him about the incident? Mackenzie said that she asked and Dom told her don't share his phone number with the cops. The cops said, okay. Mackenzie said Dom doesn't like the police and would not be cooperating with the investigation. Again, in reading through his history, I can understand why he might have said that. Not that cops did anything wrong to him, that's not what I'm saying, but just given police presence, all the backstory, again, go over there and read it if you are up for reading all that. The cop advised, okay, the detective advised Mackenzie Dom's actions make him seem cold and uncaring about the injuries to Kendall that happened in his home. Mackenzie agreed and told him, okay, I'll try and convince him to speak with the detective before the day's end. Okay, so then the detective goes off, tries to speak to the other girl. She's absent from school. I don't know if she was hiding, and he called her phone, no answer. Okay, but then he did meet with another girl who was at the school, but she said, oh, she was speaking with Kendall moments prior to her fall. She knew Kendall was getting texts from her parents telling her to come home. That part, I'm like, oh, I hope they didn't, blame themselves for that. So this girl took a Red Bull from an outer pocket of Kendall's backpack. Kendall then told the girl she was going to run downstairs to retrieve a coat so they could leave. And the girl turned around, she opened her Red Bull, and then she heard Kendall fall. She didn't see it. So the cop got this other girl's phone number from Mackenzie, and then the girl said she was in the basement at the time Kendall fell. She said Kendall hit the stair wall and then the basement floor. Ugh. She said it was almost like she missed all the steps before striking the floor violently. So like boom into the wall, and I don't know how steep these steps are, but you could kind of envision it happening, boom and boom. She said the event was so shocking and gruesome it made her sick to her stomach. She ran outside and began to vomit. You can't help that reaction. This is the girl, I guess, that Mackenzie was blaming. Oh, you were there. Why didn't you catch her? How on earth do you catch someone falling down a steep staircase, It says she didn't hear any commotion or have any warning sign that Kendall was about to fall. It all happened so fast. And she confirmed someone else's account that the home was extremely hot and uncomfortable on the inside. Okay, now let's move. Again, we're still January 6th. Kendall's still in the hospital. She has improved, though, thank God, since the last time they spoke. She's conscious, able to speak a little bit, but only a few words at a time. She still has severe trauma to her face and skull and will be in the hospital for quite some time to come. She's still too tired and injured to answer questions about how she was injured. Detectives explained to the dad that this incident appears to be accidental, so far. He told him, I'm not uncovering anything, indicating her injury was the result of something intentional. But the dad expressed slight agreement, but he was still upset about all the other aspects surrounding, what happened to his daughter. It was an underage party, the lack of parental supervision, the removal of his daughter from the inside of the home and placing her into a gravel driveway near the street, the fact that nobody who was there called 911 for his daughter. So I guess there will be no 911 calls from the scene. I'm assuming that's what he's saying. Juveniles fleeing the area, homeowner turning off all the lights, not cooperating with police when they arrived. Jason felt there was illegal drinking, possibly drug activity he didn't know in the home that night. He was upset that those who were there were more concerned with getting caught for whatever activity was going on than with helping his daughter. So Jason was scouring his daughter's phone while she was unconscious, and he admitted he found a text that she had sent Mackenzie that night asking her how much marijuana she could buy for $20. So Jason realized, okay, his daughter may have been making bad decisions that night for herself, yet according to Jason, the hospital told him Her tox screen was negative for drugs and alcohol with the exception of a minor amount of something he called benzos. And he was like, I might have the name wrong. So admittedly, he was exhausted by everything that had been going on. He wasn't sure if it was something his daughter had taken, the hospital had given her when she arrived. The detective said, look, just relax, focus on your daughter's recovery. We're under no time rush. And Jason agreed. He's like, I'll meet with you sometime next week to discuss in person. He's like, in the meantime, the detective says, obtain copies of all your daughter's medical records to date involving her injuries or treatment. Bring them with you when we meet. And he said he would. Now, January 10th, moving on, Mackenzie's life of fashion is continuing as Kendall's life is interrupted. Mackenzie's saving chat voice messages, posting her fits and everything. It's so tone deaf. On January 11th, she's posting, please yourself. I mean, why is she saying that? That's just the worst thing to say. January 12th, 2022, Mackenzie is modeling. She's saving a voice message. It's nice. Someone's like, I don't know if you drive a Toyota, but I saw someone wearing your hat. I think it was you. And indeed, it matches up with the photos like, oh, in the video, she was wearing a big old hat that day. So I'm like, well, that girl will know the Toyota now, I'm sure. The detective continues to hunt.
I don't know if you drive a Toyota, but I think I just saw you because I saw someone wearing your hat and I'm pretty sure I saw you.
He places another call to someone else, no answer, leaving voicemails, calling on Jason to check on Kendall, no answer, voicemail messages. Okay, but by January 13th, 2022, so that is indeed the next day, Kendall is improving. Mackenzie is still primping and preening. Kendall's dad is called, said she's made improvements. She was moved from ICU to the trauma step-down unit and moved again to rehab. I mean, all are positive movements, but they weren't out of the woods yet. Listen to this at this point. The doctors thought she might have had permanent brain damage and partial vision loss. Oh my goodness, but they had not discussed the accident with her yet. It says she's having a hard enough time even understanding why she's in the hospital, the extent of her injuries. She has difficulty recalling the day and the month it is. The detective told Jason, call me when she has her medical records, when he has them, and when he's ready to share any text messages he has from Kendall's phone. He said he would, and then he wanted to get a copy of the 911 audio, just like I wanted to. The detective at that point advised he could, but he would prefer not to release it yet, on the slim chance we try and prove some sort of criminal charge. So he understood. Jason's like, okay, yeah, I better wait on this, because this could have been a case if it had turned a different way. Now, January 14th, I'm going through, and maybe through all this, I'll put Mackenzie's maybe post or something, just to see what she was doing this time. Wanna be me? She's posting on January 14th, January 15th, she's like quitting pulp. I think she's talking about pulp here. She didn't want to wear a hat and mess up her hair, Meanwhile, it's like Kendall has part of her skull excised. You know what I mean?
I came into fucking work this morning, like, I woke up early as fuck for no reason, pretty much. And I just got my fucking hair braided, so it's like slick back gelled and very nice right now. So I come in, clock in, get to work, it's like normal, and Brandon's like, do you have your hat? And I was like, oh no, like, I can't wear this today, like I can't, because, like, I just got my hair done and it will mess it up. And he was like, you need to wear a hat. And I literally thought he was joking, like, he was being weird as fuck about it. So I literally told him, like, I actually cannot put on the hat. And he told me I need to fucking go home if I don't put the hat on. And I was like, okay, then I'll leave then. And I literally just clocked out and left and then quit because, like, what the fuck? Like, this is the second time I've been sent home over some bullshit. So literally, I just got my hair braided. Like, I have a slicked back ponytail on right now. And I'm not wearing a fucking hat to work, so, like, clearly this is what it's about. I wake up at 8 a.m. for my only shift during this fucking week, first of all. So I wake up on the way to work, whatever, blah, blah, this. I get to work, clock in. Brandon's like, where's your hat? I told him that, like, I'm not going to wear it today because, like, I just got my hair done, and he was being weird as shit about it. Like, I thought he was joking. He was being so weird. And then he was like, you need to, like, go get a hat or, like, go home. And I was like, oh, then, like, I'm going to leave then because, like, I actually can't wear a hat. Like, I just got my hair done. And he was like, okay, then you need to go. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, he was for real, like, dead ass serious, telling me you need to leave because of a fucking hat. So I just, like, left, and then I was, like, pissed off about it because, like, I had to wake up early. So I just, like, quit. Like, I'm fucking over it. Like, this is the second time this shit happened.
January 17th, Mackenzie is smoking and posting, and the 18th, more smoke, taking home a rodent. January 19th, she's hustling. Now let's move all the way to January 27th. The detective is speaking with someone who was best friends with Kendall. Her parents are blaming her for what happened. I don't know if it means her parents are blaming the best friend. Anyway, but she says the fall was accidental. Kendall picked her up from work. They drove to the Get-Go before the party to buy Kendall 2 Red Bull energy drinks because she told her best friend she was tired. So she drank 1 whole Red Bull, Kendall did, on their drive to the party, and she sipped on the second one while at the party. Kendall was not drinking because she was supposed to be the designated driver, so that's cool. That's why she, only maybe had a little White Claw. Kendall did take a hit from a blunt when she first arrived at the party, but it says she was an experienced user and that one hit didn't impair her at all. Okay, and that was hours prior to her fall, so she just nursed 1 little White Claw. But it does say Kendall was getting a large amount of messages from her mother while at the party. She spent a lot of time preoccupied on her phone. She became concerned when her mother said, "Look, you come home or I'm going to go there and break up the party." Now, the thought of that was probably like, oh no, I don't want my parents being the one coming here, embarrassing me. So Kendall then went to go downstairs, grab their coats so they could leave as soon as the New Year ball dropped, and that's when she fell. So the girl, her best friend, didn't see the fall. She heard it. She ran to Kendall's aid. She was holding Kendall, didn't want her moved, but she said she was dragged away from Kendall while others moved Kendall outside. People at the party knew she needed medical attention. However, they also did not want to get in trouble for drug and underage alcohol use. This girl said Dominic often hosts underage drinking and drug parties at his home. He rents the home from his mom. He has no roommates that she knows of. It says she and Kendall have been to a couple of his other parties in the past and had knowledge of how the house was laid out. She said the house does have steep steps with metal edges. Yeah, sometimes how, depending on the shoes you have on, people can kind of trip on the metal edges. She said if I saw those stairs, I would understand how easy it would be to fall. The detective wrote, Russo is not cooperating with my investigation. But this girl, Kendall's friend, said, I'll try and get photos of the steps for you. Moving forward, almost a month and a half after this fall, February 16th, detectives spoke with Kendall's parents. She made a remarkable recovery from her accident. She regained vision in her affected eye and is walking. Hallelujah for miracles. She wears a helmet due to the portion of her skull that was removed. However, she is scheduled for surgery to repair her skull, and then she will be well on her way to being healed up. Wow. That's so much. I don't know how many surgeries she had. Her parents state she is in good spirits. I asked if she recalled what had happened to her that night. She stated she does not. She has lost her memory from about 15 minutes prior to her trauma all the way through the following 2 weeks that she was in a coma. She has zero memory of that time period. She can't assist in figuring out what had happened to her. I was like, is this where Mackenzie would later get the idea for memory loss after the crash? That's what I'm wondering. How much did this inform Mackenzie's choices? Kendall, I'm sure, got a lot of attention, unfortunately, the attention she didn't want from this horrific fall and then being in a coma and then not being able to remember. Now, remember when Mackenzie crashed into the wall, the Russos will tell you that they were initially told incorrectly that Mackenzie was in a coma for a few days. Is this where did she steal Kendall's story? Like, she's in a coma, she can't remember anything. If Kendall would have first said in here, I turned the corner before I got to the stairs and everything faded to black, I would have been like, oh no, Mackenzie's stealing her entire story. But no, Kendall's parents are adamant still at this point in February 2022 she was victimized. They were relying on some kind of verbal statements made by medics and hospital staff on the night she was injured. They thought there was foul play involved based solely on the magnitude of Kendall's injury. So I don't know what they said, because the problem is, according to her parents, the medical professionals never documented their beliefs in writing anywhere on the medical records, blunt force trauma, probably not the result of a fall, or I don't know. So the detective explained to them, look, there are obstacles in proving this was anything other than a tragic accident. He needed tangible proof. So He said they would revisit the whole matter with Kendall's doctors to see if they'd placed their beliefs in writing. Kendall's parents are like, reach out to some of the other children that were at the party one more time, see if they would shed new light on everything. You know, I'm sure they were desperate. The detective said he would. They had text messages from a male student at the high school who advised them that he may have witnessed the fall. Now, did he witness it or not? You know how some people like to kind of, I don't know, put their 2 cents in, and a lot of people will say, I followed that case from day one, and I'm thinking certain cases nobody knew about from day one. This case, actually, I might have actually followed from day one, because I do remember it was either that Sunday the 31st, maybe August 1st, 2022. I remember hearing all this talk about a girl drove into a wall. They kept saying a girl drove into a wall. So I kept imagining just her driving into a brick wall, and I was just like, what? I don't know. Anyway, Kendall's parents were going to forward the detective all the info as another lead to follow up on this guy who supposedly may have witnessed, you know, the fall. And then they were concerned about Dominic and his behaviors that night. And so the detective says, I've increased our police presence in that area, I don't know what area, and offered them special attention on their residence, on their home, I guess, Kendall's home. So that's a thing. So now we're all the way at March 2022. It says Kendall's parents never provided me with the info on the potential new lead, so I don't know what happened with that alleged high school guy who may have witnessed, you know, the fall. So he's like, everything investigation has been exhausted. Now he comes up with this first conclusion. Now this is the one in March. Currently he has no evidence to contradict this event was simply an accidental fall. He does say, however, there are indications this fall took place at Dom's home while he was hosting an underage party where drugs and alcohol were being consumed. The evidence to that fact is only hearsay and nothing else, he says. With a lack of physical evidence, there's nothing he can charge him with criminally at that time. Underage party where a juvenile was tragically injured as a result of a fall down the stairs, that was his conclusion. The party host and a majority of the guests fled afterward and didn't cooperate with medical aid nor the subsequent police investigation that followed up. So even though Mackenzie, you'll see her reaction coming up, it's horrific. It's almost like she's going to try and play the good guy, like she was helping Kendall. So it was closed, but it says see this follow-up that'll happen in May. Now in the meantime, in April 4th, Mackenzie was getting into that road rage incident with Daniel. Remember that? We looked at that in the rain because she was following him too closely. April 15th, we looked at that. There was that hit, skip, lie where Mackenzie hit that couple in the back, you know, going through the metro parks and, of course, not paying attention. She lied about it. Now, finally, May 11th, 2022, the detective met with Kendall and her mom. He advised, look, my investigation is indicating Kendall's fall was just an accident. They all agreed there was an underage party taking place on that night. Almost all the juveniles in attendance fled in order to avoid apprehension for their participation in that party. Kendall should not have been removed from the residence after her fall. I don't know how much that may have worsened her injuries. She was most likely moved to aid in covering up the underage party, and that once Russo locked his home and turned off the lights and refused to answer his door for the responding officers, there was no way to prove any of it. So despite all this, the detective is still saying there's no evidence she was pushed. During our conversation, Kendall admitted to taking the hit of, the blunt on the night in question and nursing the White Claw, but her tox report from the hospital only showed a trace amount of benzodiazepines, I think that's how you say it, but she claims she never willingly took such a drug. So there's speculation, was she drugged or not? There's no way to prove it. Who would have given it to her? Kendall and her mom requested I reach out again to those in attendance once more, any new info. They signed a waiver releasing Kendall's medical records, so I guess he ended up getting them. They wanted the detective to look into the benzos aspect. He agreed to do so. The rest of this is from May 11th through the end of May 2022. The medical record request was sent. The detective was waiting on a response. He said he called a few juveniles he had originally spoken with, looking for new info. He called Mackenzie and another girl. They didn't have any more new info. He then reached out to other juveniles that were allegedly at the party. One of them spoke with him. Her name, I won't say it, but she advised that she actually witnessed Kendall fall down the steps. Now, this is sometime nearly 5 months later, and I was like, wow, did she not know that he was looking for this evidence? Or, you know, people get scared, intimidated. Maybe she thought he already had enough evidence, but she was allegedly the witness. She said Kendall dropped something as she was walking towards the steps. It may have been her phone. This girl wasn't sure, but she did see Kendall bend over to pick up the item. And when she did so, I could see this happening. You know, you're like going over kind of head first, like, whoa, you know. If you're like, oh, wow, you know, I dropped my phone and I'm by the top of the stairs and it's a steep staircase, it's metal stairs. She lost her balance, fell head first down the steps. She said it was an accident, nobody pushed her. The detective is like, will you email a statement? She agreed to do so on May 31st, and he attached that statement somewhere. He has a recording of the conversation made by dispatch. He will enter it into evidence. I don't know if I have that anywhere. Conclusion, the more he investigates, the more he finds this matter was just an accident. You know, what this witness finally saw and came forward and said, it explains why Kendall came down the stairs abruptly and head first. Not like, whoops, I slipped. It's more like, whoa, toppling over head first. It helps explain why the injury was so traumatic. So he was going to relay what he found out to Kendall and her mom. And in light of that statement, he sees no need to investigate further. And he called Kendall's mom and advised her of what had happened. The case closed. So I'm like, did Mackenzie know the case was closed? They seem to have a way of finding out stuff, because she posted this awful Snapchat PSA in response on May 27th, 2022, blaming the partygoers.
Just a PSA. If any of you think that party situation is my fault, you can go fuck yourself and leave my story right now. Yeah. Because we let all you underage little fucks inside our beautiful home just to do illegal things. And you want to blame us? Aren't you all the ones that ran out of the house and left and shook her while we called the police and got her there? Was she... Yeah. Please go fuck yourself and yourself, bitch.
She's like, if any of you think that party situation is my fault, you can go F yourself and leave my story right now, because we let all you underage little Fs inside our beautiful home just to do illegal things. First of all, she's calling them underage when she's underage. She's calling Dom's house our beautiful home. No wonder she thought she had all rights to it. Like, she kept trying to come in there after she murdered him, basically. Who knows why? She kept bugging his mom to come in the home. That day before, Dominic was videotaping her like, I'm gonna key your car if you don't let me in my house that I sleep in every night. Just because you sleep there, it does not make it your home. Anyway, Mackenzie continued, and you want to blame us? Aren't you all the ones that ran out of the house and left and shook her while we called the police and got her there? Oh, let me hear your 911 call, Mackenzie. No, I think you got your parents to call. While she, and then she stops herself because she knows she's lying. Got her where? You didn't get her there. Anyway, please go F yourself. And again, she's telling people to end their own lives. How horrible. No remorse. That's her MO. 2 months later, what happens? Sunday, July 31st, 2022, the crash caused by this demonic girl. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I want her to be better. I want her to be rehabilitated. I want her to be saved. She talks about the Bible. I just want her to own up to some things. So, after the crash, okay, October 4th, 2022, there's Mackenzie's crumble cookie chaos. Remember, she wasn't, in jail yet. So, she's amping her friends up, claiming this guy, Husni, threatened her with a bat and her friend spit on him allegedly. Mackenzie is telling the cop, I didn't mean to hurt Davian and Dominic. It's weird. Like, what did you mean to do? So what really happened? Anyway, Steve, that's the point where he's tells Husni, if you get near my daughter, you will not survive the rest of your life. November 4th, 2022, Mackenzie is arrested, taken to the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court Detention Center, arrived at 4:56 p.m. to juvie. By January 5th, we are going into the next year, finally, 2023. Mackenzie was denied bail. No bail for her. March 24th, 2023, she's indicted in a 12-count indictment, including 2 counts of murder, pursuant to a bind-over from juvenile to basically the big adult court. So transfers happen basically to adult jail when a juvenile's case is bound over, transferred, or when a juvenile turns 18 and faces adult charges. So by then she was already 18. April 13th, 2023, she can't be released from juvie until the court conducts a formal bond hearing. So the original bond was like $500,000. Of course, she entered a plea of not guilty. April 18th, she has a hearing. She's still in juvie. April 26th, still in juvie, you know. But then August 7th, 2023, Mackenzie's out of juvie because her bench trial begins. The court ordered her to be transported from juvie to the Justice Center. Her trial began Monday, August 7th, 2023. So she was to remain in that county jail for trial purposes. So that's why all these 97 calls took place over this period of time, from basically August 2nd, 2023 to August 21st, 2023. August 7th was her first day of trial. It was only 4 days, so August 10th, 2023, that was, you know, day 4, closing arguments, all that. By Friday, August 11th, Mackenzie's talking to her mom in jail call. She's like, I hope I'm found not guilty, but Judge Russo doesn't like women. I always think of her eyes when she heard that name Russo as her judge. She was like, what? Before the camera panned away, you know, but again, no relation. The verdict came in Monday, August 14th. Of course, guilty. She's weeping for herself, and her sentencing was that Monday, August 21st, 2023. That's when Bubba goes ham and emotions are running wild. This is what we'll look at next. Finally, that same night, fallout occurs from this odd photo Bubba posts online. There was this account called GrimmyTings333. Oh, weird. Grimy Tings, like he was trying to be Jamaican. Like, what was he trying to be? There's a photo of a gun at the feet of someone wearing dark clothing, and the caption reads, got me effed up, yo. How you finna lie on your own blood and put words in your dead bro's mouth? You know, it's funny. When the cops get to Bubba's parents' house, they don't know he's not there. They're like, is this a white guy? You know, you can hear him like, wait, Grimy Tings? And, you know, why is he saying all this? Anyway, we will hear Bubba's explanation soon. Let's look at all these body cams. Basically, we're going to look at them go into the Flanagan's house first. Hoosney's on the phone, but he's not on speaker, so I cut that part out. You can watch it on Patreon if you want. Both Davian's sister and his mom had seen this troubling photo, so it was posted by Bubba, and they were, you know, concerned.
Recording.
How you doing?
How's it going? I'm doing well.
You guys talked to, who'd you guys call?
I think we originally texted Tim Troop, the prosecutor, who then got a hold of Zachy.
So Zachy
who might let you know what happened.
Correct.
Do you need more information, or do you have enough?
I got the pictures.
Okay.
So we'll just keep a car out here till what, 12:30.
Okay.
And the night shift was just drive by throughout the night.
Okay.
I'm gonna go take another officer and I'm gonna talk to him.
To Landon?
Yes.
Okay.
And just kind of see.
They're gonna go talk to Landon. They're gonna keep a car up at 12:30, and then they're gonna be on patrols throughout the night.
So
I'm really worried about Hussein, the one boy. Yeah.
Husni is a friend of.
There was like a altercation at the gravesite today between him and Mrs. Russo and Landon, as well. Not like altercation, just like words.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he knows, Husni knows, and so does Zachy. So I believe that the more we're putting it together, we think that's a threat.
He's not sure who's Husni is.
Yeah, which side?
Husni is just a friend.
Assad, I think his last name is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyways,
I want him to shut up.
just go outside.
Let's go outside so the dog doesn't bark as much. That's okay.
I just wanted. Okay, we're all coming, I guess.
So is Husni friends with Landon?
Davion. He was friends with Davion.
Okay. So he was more with Christine's side tonight.
Yes, he was there
okay.
visiting Davion and Christine, but it happened, where Landon was, if you wanted to talk to Husni directly or Mrs. Russo, they could tell you exactly what happened.
Okay.
I'm telling you here, Steve.
how did you guys come about the picture?
I found it on Instagram.
You did? Okay.
And she showed it to her mom, and
Okay.
then we.
I screenshotted it
Yeah.
and sent it to her.
I got a
but-
copy of that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I watch him too, but yeah. And instantly, within 3 minutes, like,
Yeah.
she saw it, I'm screenshotting it, I
At
reached
first
out
I thought it
to...
was like a scam, and then I saw it was Landon. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Okay.
And so then I reached out to Zachy and Tim Troop, the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, when we screenshotted it, it was, he had posted it like 4 minutes before.
All right.
So, yeah, it's
Okay.
concerning.
Yep. So
it's scary.
we'll
I
have a
don't know
car
whose
here.
gun that is. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what
why.
I'll go over there and we'll see what's
We
what.
really
Looks like a
appreciate
threat.
that.
Does he? Yeah.
to
Does he
someone.
still live with his
We don't know.
parent?
Probably. I have
I'll
no
go over-
idea.
I'm assuming.
I have no
Because he
idea.
dropped out of college.
Okay.
He was telling me he dropped out of college, so he was driving his parents last time I saw him.
Okay. I'll go over there and we'll start there and we'll kind of go from that
But
point.
he also might be at Husney's old apartment. Like,
Where?
looking at where Husney... Because Husney moved. And he knows where Husney used to live.
Do you want his phone number?
Husney's?
Yeah.
It might help to clarify
Husney
that.
Ahmad is his last name. Ahmad, I think.
Okay.
And his dad right now in Brunswick.
And sister.
Brunswick. Okay.
Yeah. But let me let him know so he's not really freaked out with the phone.
Yeah. Just tell him.
I just gave...
Or do you want to just call him right now so I can talk to him?
Yeah,
Might
why
just
don't
be
we
easier.
Yeah, I did tell him to keep his phone.
Who's that truck? It's Landon drives the truck.
That's not it.
There's a bunch of that right on the street too. Which is,
Hey, it's Mrs. Flanagan. I'm talking to a police officer who is outside our house right now, and I wanted to give him your phone number. And then he said, "Why don't I gave it to him, but then I wanted to call him. Can you talk to him about what happened at the graveyard and just everything else?" Okay, I'm gonna hand you over. Okay, thanks. There you go.
Hi, it's Sergeant Knapp. Hey, so what happened earlier today? Or tonight? Okay. All right. We'll take a report and we'll document all of this. But if you have any, issues over there, I would call Brunswick. So, do you have any questions for me? Well, and that's what we're going to go over to the house and talk to him and just kind of see where he's at. And well, correct. Yeah, and that's what we'll see if it's real or not, and go from there. So. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Nope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is... So yeah, we'll go talk to him and kind of we'll see where he's at. But if something else comes up, yeah, depending on what I can give you a call and yeah, and well, I'll let the Flanagans know for sure, so they'll kind of know too as well. Okay, that works. All right, thank you so much for the info. Bye. Okay, so we'll go over talk to him and then I'll kind of give you guys a call and let you know, or I'll let Zachy know.
Okay.
So, but for right now, we'll keep the car out here and we'll go from there. See if we'll ask some questions and see what he has to say.
Okay. Yeah, we it just felt like a threat, so
yeah,
we wanted to make
yeah,
sure.
That's what it's. Unfortunately, he put it in kind of a vague way, but
yeah,
we'll see what he has to say. Okay. We'll go from there. Okay.
That sounds
but if you guys need something, by all means, call us. And there'll be an officer out here for a little while. It's only 12:30.
Okay. We
and
appreciate
the night
that.
shift will just kind of be come around every hour.
Like extra patrols.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Which one? This body camera. So, all right, guys.
Okay. Have a good night.
Next, after that, Bubba's cool parents say he's upset over photos of Rosie shown in court nationwide, like as if the prosecution was supposed to get her permission, you know. But Rosie was upset, oh, these photos with Mackenzie were shown in court, you know, this is nationwide. I like Bubba's parents. They seem cool, they seem honest and forthcoming with the cops. They don't make excuses for their son's poor judgment in posting that photo. The mom says she yelled at Bubba. I think I remember this in his interview when he finally talked to the cops at some point, somewhere in there, where he had tried to throw a party and they were out of town and she heard there were cars there. It's like, no, that's not happening. I remember Rosie calling them tweaks or something for not being like the cool party house, you know, where they could want to take shrooms. You guys know what I mean. Trip, yeah, or I don't know, do you trip off shrooms or... Anyway, finally, Bubba's fried and conflicted and confused.
Lie on your own blood, put words in no dead. Okay.
So, he got into it with a kid up the cemetery when Christine Russo was there.
Oh, yeah?
Which I thought was what the deal was.
Okay. Who's this kid? What's his name?
Yeah. Somebody up there. How you doing?
Very
good. Are you Mr. Turner?
Hold on. Can I come outside?
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, is Landon home?
No, he's not.
Okay. He posted something on social media that has got a lot of people concerned, and I'll let you look for. I get things or tensions are very high. You know what I mean? So I'll let you just look at it yourself. Does he have a gun?
To my knowledge,
okay. Do you have any guns?
I don't have. No.
No. Does he have any airsoft guns?
That he has had. I don't know if he still does.
Okay.
I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
Okay, and that's what, you know, they make these things so real, but obviously he's got some people concerned. We like to talk to him.
Yeah. Hello. Landon.
Stop! Get your foot in there.
He's posting stuff on social media.
So he posted a picture of. Have you ever seen that before?
I have not.
You guys don't.
We do not have.
We don't have any.
Does he have airsoft guns? I asked him.
Yeah,
he has.
We don't necessarily know if
it's real.
That picture, or if he got that picture off the internet.
Do those look like your floors?
There we go.
No, we don't. That's a deck or something.
No.
And that's. I think it's hardwood with a carpet behind it.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we have brown
tile. We have tile, but it's not.
Well, he did call me earlier and tell me that there was an incident up in the you know, he and Davion Flanagan were very good friends.
Okay.
And when I say very good, Davion lived with us for 4 months last year before school let out. He moved out Memorial Day weekend before graduation. When he lost Davion, there's a kid by the name of Husni that kind of stepped up and tried to take control and volunteer and put together memorials and stuff like that. But there's a lot of rumors and hearsay going around. And I know Husni's a lot of it's he's at the bottom of it. And so Landon had gone up to the gravesite today, and he usually just goes and sits and talks to Davion like he's still here. And he said that Christine Russo was at Dominic's gravesite because they're very close. And Husni all of a sudden showed up. And then Husni had come over and started talking with Landon, or talking at Landon. And Landon was like, dude, you don't get to talk to me. Like, you got Davion fired and you're out here acting like all of this. You made him lose jobs. You made him lose this. And I guess there were some words. And the other issue that comes to, that is problematic, and he will defend himself, his girlfriend is the other girl in those pictures that were put on the news today. And she's been receiving threats.
Landon's girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay.
is Rose Graham, and that is who was in that picture with Mackenzie. She was not notified that any of those were going to be used, let alone go on national news, because this has been picked up nationally. So, I mean, at this point, I don't know exactly what's going on. I can go in and I can call him.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
Like, we just want to talk to him and see.
Yeah, he's not even there.
He doesn't even live here basically anymore. He's been staying with his girlfriend.
Okay.
So.
Where does she live? In Strong as well?
Yeah, she's down at Chestnut.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, obviously the message in there is somewhat threatening. It's
Right.
not a threat, but it's somewhat threatening.
Right.
It doesn't seem like, so it seems like that would be directed more at Husni or somebody else.
Or if somebody's, he said that.
Not necessarily at the Flanagan.
No, not at the Flanagans. No, not at all. Not even at the Russos. I think the problem right now is that when he got home, because he comes home, showers, goes there. You know what I mean? So he had said something about Rosie was getting threats, and she's getting all kinds of death threats, and people are just being
That's the Chestnut Lakes apartment?
Yeah,
Okay.
nasty with her. So, I don't know exactly what has transpired in the last couple of hours.
Right. And we can only speculate.
He was here earlier.
Yeah.
He got off work, came home.
How was he when he got? I mean, what was his
Well,
demeanor?
that was, he was upset with the whole, because that's when he had spoken with his girlfriend on his way home, and she was getting the threats, and he is like, what the hell?
Was this after the
This
cemetery?
Yeah, no, this was before.
Before, yeah.
Okay.
So this was about 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30, and then he had gotten home, showered, went and stopped at the gravesite, and then went down to her apartment.
Okay.
So.
Hey, do you mind calling him? Just we'd love to talk to him.
We were in a bed.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, my shirt's even not back. I mean, I'm just in the dark, put it on. I was like, what? Somebody's at the door. I hate this.
I'm sure. That's obviously tension.
This whole thing is just
There's a lot of collateral damage here. Yeah.
Tensions will be high for quite a while.
They were all hanging out before the accident even happened that night. That morning. They were all together the night before. Kids got up in the morning. They all went home. That's when that happened.
Yeah. Everybody's life's been changed since.
Crazy.
Landon, are you there?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hi, Landon. Sergeant Kniff. Where are you at now?
I'm at my girlfriend's apartment.
Okay, can we come talk to you?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. She at Chestnut Lakes?
Yeah, Chestnut Lakes.
Which building?
5.
Building 5, what apartment?
I can just come down if that's cool.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. We'll be there. It'll take us probably 15 minutes to get up there. But yeah, you want to meet us in the lobby of building 5 there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll be up there in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, thank you. All right, bye. All right, so we'll go talk to him.
Alright.
I mean, really the big thing is, where's this gun picture? What's the extent of that?
Right.
Yeah, it's our he doesn't have one.
Okay.
We've never had one.
No.
Yeah, so.
I do know, the only time I know that he has had a gun at any point, and was not his, I know that Dominic and the kids were here 2 weeks before the accident, and Dominic had a gun with him, and they left it here. Yeah, well, they went to, because it was the home days weekend, and Lana had said that they had left it here in the garage. It's the only time I know a gun has ever walked into my home.
Okay.
And this is a handgun.
I don't know.
Oh,
He
you
just
don't
said
know. Okay,
gun.
you never saw it.
Yeah, we were out of town that
I
week.
understand.
Yeah, we were completely out of town. We were in West Virginia for his grandmother's funeral. And he stayed home because he had to work and stuff. So that's the only time. And I had known, I had yelled at all of them to get out of my house at 2 a.m. when I found out they were here. I was livid. So, because I don't do friends over when we're not.
That's understandable, huh?
So, and then 2 weeks later that happened.
There's reasons for that.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So
when you become parents, you realize that.
Yeah.
So. All right, I appreciate everything. So we'll go up there. We'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Your time and your help. Thank
If
you.
there's any issues, don't hesitate to let us know.
Okay. Right. All right.
I mean, he might be an adult, but he's still our kid, and
Yeah.
that's not, it's not appropriate.
For sure.
Gotcha.
At this point, we just want to get in his head and see
Yeah.
what was behind him. Post
Right. Yeah, I don't, like I said, all I know is what I had talked to him earlier about, and, I just can say he's probably on the edge,
Yep. And we understand. So. All righty. All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Sorry to wake you guys up.
No, it's him, man. Let us know.
Recording.
Across the lakes. Landon, what's going on, man? All right, here, we can walk up here. Obviously, I think you know why we're up here.
A little bit. I mean, there could be two situations, I guess.
Well, let's just talk about both. That's fine with you.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay, so obviously, well, you want to talk about the cemetery first?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, so what happened up there?
So, I got there.
First off, we understand tensions are high amongst everything. You know what I mean?
I tell a lot of people in this, I'm like, dude, to me, I don't give a fuck if that girl spends the rest of her life in jail. It don't matter to me. My two friends are gone, my two friends are dead, and all I know is I've seen a lot of fucking lies up there on that fucking, on that court, and I could prove that. So it's like, that just comes for when the appeal comes. That's a whole different story, but no. So when I got to the graveyard, I went down where you can go like by the library and the rec center, that street.
Yeah.
One other, just to make sure nobody was at Dom or Dave's grave. I didn't go to Dom's. Make sure no one was at Dave's, so I knew someone was going to try and press me about it. So no one was there. Drive there. I'm just standing there silently looking at all the pictures. Hoosney rolls up. Hoosney, I don't know if you know who that is, but Hoosney pulls up. I'm still quiet, looking down at the grave. Miss Russo starts walking over with like 3 other fucking grown-ass men. You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting there being quiet. Hoosney starts coming up. He starts talking to Miss Russo, trying to like call me out on some shit, saying like, "Oh, isn't the kid that made this gravesite, that put all the pictures here and the flowers here, isn't he so fake?" Because there's a lot of like drama between Dave and Tom.
Talking to her about you
exactly.
in front of you.
Exactly.
Right.
And so like I'm still being quiet at this point. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't care. And then he starts coming at me personally. So I'm like, oh, hell no. So that's when I busted open. I was like, dude, you got him fired from all 3 jobs that he worked at. He has speeding tickets in every city that I know of. And I'm like, you got him fired from every damn job. And like, you literally they basically fucked his life over, making him go in debt, making him have to do all this extra shit. And like, Hoosney's just going off. He's like, oh, I just wish you would hit me right now, like, so I can call the police. I'm like, I'm not gonna hit you, bro. I'm like, I'm over here on this side, you're over there on that side. Like, that's it. And like Miss Russo is there saying like, oh, this don't have to go this way, like calm down. I said, no, you're good, Miss Russo, like I'm sorry for this, like this is him, you know, this is him trying to come at me. And It was basically like just kind of verbally back and forth, and I just looked at Miss Roos and I was like, I'm getting too mad, I'm gonna just leave. And I just left. That's all it was. I just left. And then so, then the second thing.
Well, here, did you make any threats towards him at the?
No.
Nothing, even about punching him or anything like that?
No. I literally told him, I was like, he's sitting there trying to like find any excuse to call the cops. He's like, I'm gonna call the cops for you starting a confrontation. I'm like, dude, you came up to me and were talking to me. I'm like, but like, I also want to leave that situation because I knew none of those people on that side are gonna vouch for me no matter what they say. Because they hate my guts that I support Mackenzie Shirilla. Okay. They literally hate my fucking guts for it. But I just know it's morally right in my damn heart.
Gotcha.
But then the second thing is, so I posted on my story a picture of my friend's ARP, and I said, no threats were made. I said, y'all got me fucked up. I said, how are you gonna go and lie on your own brother's name and put words in your dead friend's mouth, in your dead brother's mouth? And then like 3-4 random kids just start hitting me up saying, what's your addy? Send your mama's address. Come on, let's go. And all I text them, I can literally pull it up for you. I'm like, all I literally was saying to them was, hey, meet me out in public. Catch me out at a restaurant. Catch me out somewhere in public, and I'll public in.
Just random numbers.
Yeah, and he's just going on and on and on. Yeah. I'm like,
okay.
Oh no, now he deleted all of them.
Who's
deleted them. I know one of them's name is Tyler Proctor. I don't know the other one's name. The other two are just like they don't have their names in their Instagram or anything. So I don't know who they are.
When did you take the photo?
Earlier. Well, my friend from Virginia. He doesn't even live in this fucking state.
All right. But you took the photo earlier today?
No, I didn't take the photo. My friend did in Virginia.
Your friend took the photo?
Yeah, he lives in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, and he took the photo and sent it to me. So,
okay. What's his name in Chesapeake, Virginia?
Trent. Yeah. I met him on Xbox 6 years ago. He's like my best fucking friend.
Okay.
So
have you met him in person?
Once. Only everyone once. It was only for like an hour on the way to vacation.
Yeah, it's just stopping by, right?
Yeah, we were going down to the Outer Banks.
Talked on Xbox for however long you stopped by.
Do you know Trent's last name even?
Arrington. I think Arrington.
Arrington?
Yeah, Arrington or Arlington, some shit like that.
Okay.
I forget how to pronounce it.
Do you have a number for Trent by chance?
37. Available for snap.
Sure. Here, can you show me, would you mind showing me the text of when he sends a picture to you?
Yeah. Is it here? It says send me a pic of your gun. I'm about to post that shit. ARP. Bet send it on here, don't send it on Snap. You send it on there.
Okay.
You understand why we're out here?
A little bit. I mean, yeah.
And
I guess,
knocking on your
yeah,
parents' door.
someone thought I made a threat to someone, but I ain't made no threat to nobody.
Generally, not you, generally, somebody posts a picture of a gun.
What's Trent's number?
With threatening language. It's not a threat, but it could be interpreted as threatening language.
Okay. Obviously, tensions are high on all sides. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of emotions. So,
yeah, I mean,
when something like this gets posted, like he said.
When I was first spoken to, I kept my cool. You know, I stayed silent. I didn't let nothing bother me. But it was when he started trying to come at me directly. You know, the indirectly shit I don't care about. You know, I don't care. It could be about anything. That's like how this Instagram post is. It could be about anything. You know, so I don't ever take indirect shit for granted. But when he directly tried to call me out, that's when I started speaking back to him. But you can ask anyone there. I left. Yeah. I literally just got in my car. I was like, I'll catch y'all later. I left.
Okay.
Because I didn't want it to escalate. I didn't want him to try and escalate.
That's the smart thing.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I ain't trying to go to jail like that.
That's not what you want to do. And you have no intent to harm anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I never once made a threat. All these dudes over here saying, you ain't about shit. Come on, pull up. Drop the addy. I was like, what you gonna do? Pull up to an apartment building with a bunch of cameras and try to do some shit? He's like, nah, I'll send you my addy right now. Come pull up on me, trying to get me joined in Instagram live. And I'm just like, dude, it's a waste of my fucking time. Like, I'm like, just, if you really want to press me on some shit, press me while I'm at Grand Fiesta eating. Press me while I'm at, Charlie's eating. Don't try and fuck with me and my personal living and shit, you know? Yeah. Don't try and fuck with me like that. Cause, like, it's just, I'm not about that. I got my girl up in the house. I got her best friend, her dog. I'm not gonna put all them at fucking risk.
You have no guns? No airsoft guns?
Nope. I'm dry as a motherfucker.
Okay.
So.
Anything else? No. All right, no, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking to you guys.
Okay. Hey, what's your phone?
Nope. I mean, I ain't got nothing fucking high, man. I mean, I get more scared because I just wish there was like one more person on my side that was there at the cemetery, because they're gonna do the exact same shit they did to Kenzie, and it's just fucked up. I ain't about to get into it with you guys, but it's fucked up, man. It's really messed up. But.
All right, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Good night.
Yeah.
So Bubba, when they finally get from his parents' house over to the apartments where he lives with Rosie, he says Rosie's getting death threats. He's just meeting them in the parking lot by the lake or whatever. Bubba's like, they hate my guts that I support Mackenzie Shirilla, saying her full name. I'm glad he did. It makes for a great opening of a video, but it's kind of like he's confusing me. He's saying like, okay, maybe Dominic's parents, or he's speaking of the Russos or someone, literally hate my effing guts for it. I just know it's morally right in my damn heart. First of all, why are you cursing your heart? And what's morally right about supporting Mackenzie? I don't understand him. I understand not wanting her to perish. Even God wants no one to perish. But that's a lot different than jumping on there and you know how Natalie was reading all the stuff that Bubba had allegedly copied and pasted from somebody like, and let's talk about the car. Everybody knows that car has acceleration problems, and when it doesn't, there was nothing wrong with the car. So anyway, this is what's confusing. Bubba says all that stuff. Then he says, I don't give an F if that girl spends the rest of her life in jail. It don't matter to me. My 2 friends are gone. My 2 friends are dead. All I know is that I've seen a lot of effing lies up there in that court, so he must have seen it that day, and I could prove that. So it's like that just comes for when the appeal comes. So he's like, that's for later. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to get into that with you guys. And the cops are just like, meh, like we're not saying anything. He's like, because I just wish there was one more person that was on my side at the cemetery. Obviously, he got into it with Husni at the cemetery that night, I guess, because they're going to do the same-ish they did to Kenzie. It's just effed up. I was like, what is he talking about? I wish he would do more interviews, I was thinking, first of all, if you don't care about Kenzie spending the rest of her life, he means prison, not jail, why is he supporting her? It's just all kinds of confusing. He was speaking of seeing Dominic's mom at the gravesite. She was trying to keep the peace, and Husni allegedly approached Bubba and started talking crap. I don't know. Bubba says Husni got Davian fired from jobs. He's like, oh, he's capping. But anyway, it's so weird that Bubba windmills so hard for Kenzie. I don't understand. Is it because Rosie is loyal to Kenzie and Bubba wants to stay in his girlfriend's good graces? Why would he say it's morally right in his heart to support Kenzie, but then say he doesn't care if she spends the rest of her life, he means in prison? And secondly, if it's morally right to support her, you would think he's saying she's innocent in his eyes, so why would he not care that she spends the rest of her life in prison? Anyway, Bubba and Rosie should do more interviews like they did. They just spoke with Rotten Mango, her researchers. It was great info. Help us understand more. Finally, healed and soaring high. It did my heart good. I was so concerned about Kendall's condition. I looked her up, trying to Google her. It seems like in 2026, I believe she's an instrument-rated private pilot with all these hours under her belt and pursuing a bachelor's degree in aeronautics. Oh my goodness, she might already have it by now. I was thinking the class that's graduating now in 2026, I was thinking that would have been, all those 2022 graduates with Mackenzie. Wow. Ezekiel 34:23, I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David. He will tend them and be their shepherd, as Christ Jesus is. And of course, one more time, I've got to check and look for these 911 calls because I want to know when they will come. I know so many people are requesting information from them, so I'm so grateful that they've been so responsive and so helpful to me. So even if I don't get it, I'll plan to put them perhaps in a different video, and I wanted to kind of wait, but I was like, I gotta get this out. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check the other Plunder BODYCAM videos. I'm planning to at some point as I work through all this and edit and film and write the script and fill out a motion and get evidence and everything. I plan to upload more videos. So thank you so much for watching all of this. Oh my goodness. Obviously, her parents aren't giving up. The Ohio Supreme Court refused to even review the case, the issue, you know, with the ineffective counsel, and then there's the leap year versus 365 days, all that crap. I expect Natalie and Steve to take it to the U.S. Supreme Court. I don't know if they will, but remember there was a jail call where she talked about, you know, fight, fight, fight. Like, I believe she mentioned something about either Trump or the highest court or, you know, somewhere in there. So she tells Mackenzie, we are never giving up. I understand the need to fight for your child or someone you love, but you don't want to do it in a dirty or ungodly way where you're lying about stuff. Like, she never saw any of the evidence. She never saw any of the discovery. Well, be specific. Do you mean never, ever, ever? Or in court, she talked about, I saw the body cam. I heard myself scream. Of course, she feels sorry for herself screaming. Natalie seems like she was trying to say, even though she misspoke, seems like she was trying to say Mackenzie was found under, she said over on Dom. Like, I was like, what? No wonder I couldn't find her. Like, I was trying to look and zoom in. I couldn't see her under the steering wheel, under that part, under the driver's side. There's a lot. There's a lot. Again, I am, of course, reporting on other cases, writing up a lot of stuff, but this takes a lot of time. What else I will get, I will put it up. Thank you so much for watching all of this, and take care.